YouTube? What is going on? What a back with another Wuthering Waves video. I'm probably going to get an ungodly amount of hate for this, and it's okay because I truly believe I'm going to start this off by saying I think we glaze the CN community way too much. I don't think that the crazy min-maxing DPS stuff holds as much value as everyone thinks, and I think it's annoying. No shots to 1010. This is 1010 simply presenting information, and then at the end, he gives his opinion, which is fine, right? But so Changli has been on rapid discussions in CN. The general sentiment is that her difficulty is too hard for not very good reward. I'm slowly seeing people come up with some insane swap cancel combos, but I think for the first part of the paragraph is still true. Now, W counter argument right here, she's hot. Changli is absolutely beautiful. Go to with the sauce, by all stretch of imagination. So now let's bring this conversation to Reddit to see what Reddit has to say, because I truly believe that this is not a good take. And again, you know, that's fine for 1010 to feel this way. But I think what happens a lot of the times is a lot of people who are involved in the community and a lot of consumers, they take the CN's community thoughts to heart, and they're like, oh, if the CN community says this is bad, it's unusable and it's not good. And that is not the case. I'm going to show you gameplay with her, and she's not complicated. She's actually pretty simple. Now, you could say that maybe her field time you might think is a little annoying and maybe it's a little hard to use because you could actually miss that enhanced attack to give you a forte circuit. But to my answer to that, I'm not even trying to be funny, I say get good. But we'll address that. So what does Reddit say? 1010 is too obsessed with that opinion. I just reckon you skip them. Again, no disrespect to 1010. I have nothing bad to say about 1010. I like 1010. But genuinely, I believe this is just a bad take. Just remember when 1010 said the rating was mid against Impact, stop taking his opinion seriously. I often wonder what he's getting his info from. He's been wrong more times than right. Now, maybe this is just a subsection and we don't know fully what the CN community is saying, right? But I want to present this to you because I truly believe you should not let anyone else make the decision for you. And again, I'm trying to tell you, don't take these opinions seriously, brother. Don't listen to what the CN says. These spreadsheet layouts and, you know, theory crafting stuff, it's not practical. 95% of the community is not going to use any of this, and it's going to be absolutely just irrelevant within the first 5 seconds you get into a hologram fight. When you get into a Tower of Adversity fight, it doesn't matter. It is going to be irrelevant. So just keep that in mind when we go through this. That's my main point here. I avoid this clown. I don't think we need a clown on the homie. Likely true, but I don't care, to be honest. I don't have any cancels. I don't even do any cancels when playing in general. What do you mean by too hard for little reward? Her rotations are easy as hell, and currently she doesn't even have a partner to fully complete her. Personally, I'm having a blast, and people need to enjoy actually playing. This is totally fine to focus on optimization, character building, but you also have to remember we're playing an open world game with beautiful graphics. Her animations are incredible, and Tower isn't all there is to the game. Just enjoy it. I agree with that as well. You don't need to invalidate considerations just for that. It's a pretty widely known fact since way before her release that she has some things that should be fixed to play as a full potential with her kit. Her rotation is too slow, needing 4 stacks instead of 3. That alone would make her a completely different character and extremely more fun. I disagree, but it's okay. The multipliers on some attacks are too low. Her basics attacks are literally slaps that would be more qualified, literally anything. Her damage would go up even without touching multipliers if they reduce stacks from 4 to 3, keeping the same values of the buff. Against strong bosses, it's another story. She's pretty slow overall. She needs a little bit of help. I'm not going to lie to you. I really don't think her multipliers are that bad. I think what's happening here, unfortunately, is we are getting the backlash of having the best DPS in the game that is probably going to be the best DPS for a long time, Jinhsi, releasing so soon. Jinhsi is just leagues ahead of Changli in terms of damage. And I think a lot of the times with the community, not just CM, but the community in general, is looking for easy damage numbers. How fast can I use this character, and how fast can I pump out the biggest amount of damage as possible? And so when you're going in that terms and you're comparing it to Jinhsi, of course Changli is not going to match up in that sense. And you do need to use way more effort to make Changli work. However, you still need to use a lot of effort to make Gian work, to make sure that he has the Mortefi buff up, to intro and outro of Verena. With Encore, with the swaps with Encore, you have to use effort to make Encore work. So I think we are getting a little bit of, I don't know if backlash is the word, but realistically, every DPS that's going to come out after Jinhsi, we're going to have this problem in the sense of, well, Jinhsi can just absolutely nuke them in the matter of 5 to 7 seconds. Why does it matter? And that could be fair. but I don't think we should judge or compare a main DPS. Her only way to use her is a main DPS to a sub DPS that could be transitioned to a main DPS or sub/main with tons of animation canceling. I think it's absolutely goofy, and I think it's the dumbest thing ever. I really do. And so I think this whole narrative of she's too complicated to use and she's mid is just stupid. But let's see. This is it. It makes no sense for her multipliers to be that low. How is it that Encore, whose kit is focused on basic attack damage, has higher skill damage than Changli? Well, the thing about Changli's kit is that her skill is just helping her get her forte faster. So her skill, right, it's not like someone like Yinlin, whose skill is actually supposed to do extra damage. Her skill is just giving you this red buff earlier, so that way you can do an enhanced attack. So also everything in her kit is going off of resonant skill damage. So that's another thing where I think this is just kind of a weird complaint, and I think they're just mad that it's not matching the same potential of Jinhsi. There's also a sense that Changli's basic attack, which shouldn't be OP by any means, but it's amongst the lowest out of the game's current main damage dealers. Why is it 20% lower than Jinhsi's unenhanced basic attacks when Changli is more vulnerable? Having to dodge into... she's not more vulnerable. That's absolutely inaccurate. When you are running Jinhsi in air is very annoying. At the end of the day, I don't like the in-air combat, and I know a lot of people feel the same way. It's annoying. Dodging in air can be annoying, and she is vulnerable because she's just stuck in the air all the time. So to say she's more vulnerable, I think, is silly, especially when in her kit she does have interruption resistance, or that might be from a constellation. So, but let's even put that to the side. So that's pretty silly. Having to dodge interrupts her forte stacking, whereas it doesn't affect Jinhsi's time to enter the enhanced state. Again, comparing to Jinhsi is silly, and I think we need to stop. I just feel Curl played it too safe with Changli's multipliers, where she already takes much more effort to optimize. I don't believe this. Man, I'm glad I'm not a hardcore player. I love her design. Decided to pull for her. I absolutely love her playstyle. She's so fun to play. Do I play her perfectly? No, but I don't care. She destroys everything in the overworld and doesn't really care about endgame content. There you go. Bam. Not sure I agree. If you compare it to Jinhsi, sure, I guess. Exactly. But personally, I feel she's slightly overtuned compared to everyone else. Not that I care. I have her also. For me, the damage feels good. Could be a little higher, I mean, I guess. But as someone who's pretty prepared, I have pretty good echoes, level 8, 9 skills, level 90 weapon, and 90 Changli. She's dominating every rotation or not. She's probably my favorite overworld character now. No need to micro your meter like Jinhsi unless S2. Quick paced attacks for endless, easy, mindless echo grinding for questing. And for bosses so far, I haven't felt much struggle in the comparison to anyone else. There's only one real way to play Changli if you have her weapon, Blazing Brilliance, which is her intro twice to get the stack of Enflammement before committing to her skill and burst. This is to ensure both forte. I personally feel that Flaming Sacrifice should have been in one iframe. You're way too vulnerable. Again, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I wouldn't want a brain-dead gameplay like Gion for a character that I like. I would be bored in a week if I played Gion. I'd rather have characters have high skill ceilings, which take a while to master. It's way more satisfying. But the thing is, it's not a high skill ceiling. This is not a high skill ceiling at all. In the slightest. Bro, I'm going to bring this right now to just a random boss, right? Just so I can show you. I think there's a genuine misconception, right? The CN players obviously know how to use her, right? But what is this thing that she is complicated to use, right? Look at this. I don't get it. And again, we're comparing a sub DPS who could fit the main DPS role to a main DPS. 1, 2. Okay. We did the dodge, so we actually got it faster. I didn't have to do 5 attacks. Now I'm going to do a skill. Now, I missed a skill there. That's my fault. So you wasted a skill. So that's an L on me. Bam. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam. Forte. And then I'm going to burst. I'm going to forte again. I don't want to kill it because I don't want to waste my thing on there. What's complicated about that? That's not including any rotations. That's not including any rotation canceling, animation canceling with other characters, whoever you're using. I found Encore to be the most fun and honestly the most enjoyable and the highest DPS output. But I feel like this is just so silly. I think this is silly. I think this is a silly take, and I feel like don't harp on this take. Don't harp on what the CN community says. Play the game the way you want to play it and just have fun. Because they're comparing it to all these other DPSs. I just jammed my thumb into my mic. Ow. But they're comparing it to all these other DPS characters when you should be comparing this to Yinlin. Yinlin is a character who can be main on-field DPS or sub DPS, which is what their main role is. And realistically, Changli has a better time being a main DPS than Yinlin does, and they're still a very valid sub DPS. Now, I personally like them in the swap rotations, but the other amazing thing about this character is they're 100% free-to-play friendly because they synergize with Chixia so perfectly. It's insane. I hate Chixia. I don't like Chixia. Chixia is the drizzling shits in my eyes. This character, this team is still goated. This is 100% free-to-play friendly. You throw a Baiji here, bam. I mean, the options are endless. I dropped a whole guide video on her and her teams and whatnot, but I just think when the message like this comes out, we put way too much thought and way too much, like, clout on it. Like, oh, the CN community said it was not good and that it's mid, so we shouldn't use it. Who the fuck cares? And it's just wrong. It's just wrong. If you're going to show me a spreadsheet saying that Changli's DPS rotation is outdone by Jian or Jinhsi, I'm going to call you goofy. Because anyone could have told you that. My 3-year-old nephew could have told you that because she is not a main DPS. You could run her as a main DPS, and at the end of the day, you need 3 teams in the game, right? So hypothetically speaking, let's just say this is one team right here. This is the second team here, and then your third team would be your Jian team, right? Let's just go with the most basic meta stuff. Obviously, the healer, you could flip-flop whoever you want there. Why is this bad? Why is this bad? Calchero is getting power crept, right? People already don't like Calchero. You could throw Havoc MC here instead, or in any one of these other teams instead to replace them, but you have a solid 3 teams because TOA needs 3 teams, right? So what is bad about this? I just don't understand. I think it's very goofy, and I think that what we should do is not promote the CM supremacy stuff, and if you like the character, dope. If you think they're underwhelming, don't get them, right? But she's hard to play on mobile, PC skill issue, yeah. Exactly. Like, even though I love her playstyle, I feel the multiplayer's just not that good. I disagree, but it's okay. Just button mash every character. True. Like, I don't care at all. Not very good reward. I think her being able to dish out something part David Jinhsi as your pretty reward. Who's literally Sentinel? Let's look at this. I haven't seen this. Yeah. I mean, hey, man. That's a lot of damage to me. I think that's a lot, right? So, lack of a synergistic team. These calcs are done in a solo scenario. She's intended for quick-stop character, but very few DPS is playing to the role well at the moment. I don't believe that either. I think you can run Encore, and eventually, with leaks included, Gigi's going to be coming out, and you can run Tauchi. Tauchi's an amazing unit for her as well, with the outro skill. I don't like Tauchi, but the resonant skill damage amplification of 38% is insane. You're going to be pumping out massive damage numbers. I'm going to drop a video with the C6 version of Changli, but I also did a bunch of content with C0 Changli, and it's still very good, and it's still amazing. So as a main DPS / swapping, so I think it's a little goofy. And yeah, I think this whole narrative of she's mid, she's not mid. You're comparing her to the best DPS in the game who are pretty much essentially started power creeping the other DPSs, and that probably no other DPS is going to touch. So if you're going to do that, yeah, she's mid. But that's me comparing, like, I don't know, Yelan to Nouvelette. It's stupid. The C0 Yelan is not putting out C0 numbers of Nouvelette, right? But Yelan could be a DPS. It's just silly. I think it's silly. I think it's goofy. And again, this isn't a shot at 10-10. I mean, look, people could take it however they want to take it. This is a shot more at the fact that I think this isn't even a shot at the CN community. This is stop glazing. Stop it. Stop taking their word as gospel because it's not. It's not. It just really isn't because these are not practical scenarios. So that being said, mwah, I love you. Cancel me. I love your mother more. I'll see you in the next